What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard Insta Overseas. I am Sky,
And I'm Gav.
and we are cousins.
Joining us today is Rachel and Jillian, also known as the Cruising Sisters. They're going to take us aboard Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady.
The Cruising Sisters, aka Rachel and Jillian, are two sisters that have been cruising since they were young and have grown to love the adventures of cruising together. Rachel and Jillian are from Ontario, Canada, and have cruised on many of the major cruise lines, including Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line, Disney Cruise Line, Princess, Carnival, and Virgin Voyages. They recently completed their 30th cruise. Over the past year, they have decided to start sharing their cruise experiences on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. With over 9 cruises documented through daily cruise vlogs, ship tours, and reviews, they are just getting started and have so much more planned for the future.
We're super stoked to talk with them, and yeah, they're up next.
As we mentioned, we are here with the Cruising Sisters. What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Good.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great that you guys can join us today. Where, for those that are going to watch, where can they find you guys online?
So we are on Instagram at The Cruising Sisters. We're on YouTube, The Cruising Sisters, and we're on TikTok at The Cruising Sisters. And we actually recently just started a Facebook page. So that one we're just getting started, but that's also The Cruising Sisters.
Cool, that's great. So we'll be able to find you pretty easy then. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow them. So
of course,
that'd be awesome. Yes. Like and subscribe our channel, and yeah, follow us as well.
So let's go ahead and dive right in. Tell us a little bit about what ship you just sailed on recently, and a little bit about the pre-cruise process.
All right. We recently just sailed on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady for the Transatlantic crossing. And our pre-cruise process was, we are actually from Ontario. So we took a flight from Detroit to Miami, a late night flight. We got into Miami around 2 a.m. We took a shuttle to the hotel and then got a quick little sleep in and then hung out at the hotel until it was time to go to the cruise port. We ended up taking an Uber to the cruise port. We couldn't board the ship until 3 p.m. because JLo was actually filming on the Valiant Lady the day that we were getting on the ship. So they delayed the boarding process for us. We had something called the Deep Blue Extras, which was Virgin Voyages,
like their loyalty program.
Yeah.
Even though this was our first Virgin voyage, they did match loyalty programs to any other cruise line. So we were able to match our diamond status to Royal. So that was a big plus. So we were able to board, I think we boarded around 2:30, which is actually kind of normal for Virgin Voyages. Their boarding is a lot later than any other cruise line we've been on. However, on disembarkation day, you can actually disembark a lot later than any other cruise line. So
which is really nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So you prefer that then?
Yes. We liked not having to rush off the ship at like 8 a.m. We got to actually stay on until 11 a.m., which was really nice. We got to enjoy breakfast and everything like that.
Yes, a lot more relaxing of a last day for sure.
Yeah, that sounds much more enjoyable. That's awesome.
Yeah. We did all the packing in the morning.
Yeah, not a stress last night, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So we always have to ask, what was the first thing you guys did when you got on the ship?
Oh my gosh.
Can you remember?
Well, it was a 15-day cruise. So what was the I think we went straight to the galley.
Yeah, we ended up going to our room first thing because we knew with Virgin Voyages, any restaurant dining or workout classes you can book as soon as you get on board with their Wi-Fi. So we really wanted to book some workout classes and then the rest of our dining reservations. So we quickly did that in our room, and then we went up to the galley, which is their central spot for food. It's not a buffet, but it's their version of a buffet.
So room, then food. And that was also what was nice about Virgin Voyages is the room was ready for everybody as soon as you got on. I don't know.
Great.
with it being our first, we're not sure if that's normal, but it was a really nice bonus to be able, we just walked on with our luggage. So it was really nice to be able to drop it off, get those reservations in, and then go explore the ship without anything extra.
And I noticed from what I've heard and what we've seen since the pandemic, or since the comeback, it's been pretty crowded for people at like the food places whenever they first hop on board. Would you say that was the case here?
Not at all. It was, yeah, it's not like any dining experience. That's Virgin tries to do dining different, and they definitely did. It wasn't a buffet, which was amazing. It's kind of, I would explain it almost like a food court.
Yeah.
Where there's like 6 different restaurants, and you can walk around and see what the food looks like and see what the daily specials are. But then you sit down and you scan, everybody has free Wi-Fi. So you use your Wi-Fi to scan the menu, you choose from there, and then you put up a flag when you're ready to order. Somebody comes within seconds, they take your order, and then food comes within minutes. And that was normal throughout the entire cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was not busy at all. You weren't fighting for a line in the windjammer. It was awesome.
Sounds so fancy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was definitely different for us, but we enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about a minute ago. Tell us a little bit more about your stateroom. What type of room did you have? What was its size compared to other cruise lines? Things like that.
Yeah, so we actually booked the guarantee balcony stateroom, and we got really lucky. We ended up with a central sea terrace room. So it was unobstructed view. We were central in the ship, and we were on deck 10. And we loved our stateroom. We spent a lot of time in that room, actually. And it had a balcony. It had the hammock on the balcony, which we also spent a lot of time there. And yeah, it was beautiful. It seemed very modern, updated.
Yes. It was high tech as well.
Yeah, high tech. Every room has, it's like an iPad, like a device that can control your heating and cooling, your lights, your TV. So that was really cool too.
And your curtains. So when you're in bed in the morning and
awesome.
you get up and open the curtains, you just pull the tablet beside you, press the button, and the curtains just automatically open. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we did find the only downfall of our room was there wasn't a lot of storage, which they do a lot of 4, 5, or 7-day voyages. 15 is not normal. So if you're going for a shorter voyage, the storage would have been fine. But for us with 15 days, that was a little bit of a struggle, but that was probably the only downfall.
Mm-hmm.
It was really great.
That sounds incredible.
Sky, when are we going on this ship?
I know, right? I'm sold already. We've talked about rooms and location.
Right?
Cool.
Already.
Awesome.
J-Lo? Did you guys meet J-Lo?
No, unfortunately not. We're part of the Facebook group that was on our sailing though, and some people said that they saw her driving away with a bunch of cars,
like her limo and cars and stuff.
Well, yeah, changing gears a little bit. Let's talk about the itinerary. If you guys just give us a brief overview of all of it.
Yeah, so like we said, it was a 15-day transatlantic voyage. So our first stop right after we embarked from Miami was Bimini, Bahamas, which they have their private beach club there. So we spent our second day on board there. And then we had 8 days straight at sea, and that was crossing the Atlantic. And then our first stop on day number 10 was Lisbon in Portugal. And then we had a sea day, and then we went to Cadez in Spain, and then we had another sea day, and then it was Palma de Mallorca in Spain, and then finally Barcelona.
I think we really lucked out with this cruise because we were looking at other cruise lines that were doing other transatlantics, and they seemed like they were just going from like one port to the other. They were just repositioning the ship. They just wanted to get to Europe. But this one was really great. We really enjoyed the ports, and Virgin they try to have you at a port as long as possible. So a lot of the times we were at ports till like 11 at night. So it was like 8 a.m. to 11 at night. There were several times where we would get off the ship, explore, then we would go back on, like have a nap or eat something, and then had tons of time to be able to get back off.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. Gavin just got off Allure of the Seas like last week, and he was it Costa Maya from like 6 a.m. to noon or something like
Oh
that?
my
Oh, it
God.
was 7 to noon, like short.
That's not enough time.
No, it was.
Yeah.
I walked the shops for like with my wife and our baby for like 5 minutes, and that was it. But
That's
it
what,
was
like at Coco K, when 4 p.m. comes so soon.
Yeah.
So Bimini was 7
Yeah, I
or
think we were there until
7:30.
7.
So they had a fire at like when the sun started to set, like it was a full
full
day.
day, yeah.
And did you
Wow.
guys do anything specific there? Like, or did you just kind of hang and relax? Or were there any excursions you had to pay extra for?
They did offer excursions. The only one I'm familiar with, there was like a painting by the beach kind of excursion. But I think there was like the typical,
Like jet skis,
Yeah.
snorkeling, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. We chose, because it was our first time in Bimini and at their beach club, we chose just to hang out at the beach. There was a big pool party, and they have what's called the Happenings cast on board Virgin, and they kind of come around and party and dance and that kind of thing with you as well. So it was really cool getting to know them.
I do know they also offer like beach games. So there was like volleyball going on and other type of games near the beach. And they have, similar to any other private island, they do offer lunch. We didn't enjoy it as much, but they do offer lunch.
Cool. And you could have gone back
Awesome.
on the ship and ate whatever. if
Yes,
you needed to.
exactly. Yeah.
So as far as like sea days go, did you guys relax? Did you?
You had a bunch of them.
Had a
Yeah.
bunch. We love sea days, so 8 sea days in a row didn't scare us. But the first, we weren't sure about the weather. We had done some research on Transatlantic, and everybody was saying different things. It's just really dependent on your voyage. So the first 3 days we laid out by the pool every day, and we were like, wow, we are really going to be tired of the sun if this continues for the next 5 days. But the pool was so much fun. They, instead of like having a band near the pool, they had a DJ, and the DJ was incredible. We actually ended up becoming really good friends with him. So we were just enjoying the pool, and they did pool parties, and that was a lot of fun. But by day 4, the weather did get a little cooler. It was windy, and it wasn't even, you couldn't lay out by the pool unless you were completely wrapped in towels, which people were doing. But they gave us a lot of activities to do. So we got really into, there was like speed puzzles. So with a couple of our friends or people that we had met on board who quickly became our friends, we did speed puzzles, we did board games. There was shows, even throughout the day. They had like little, shows throughout the day. Activities were constantly playing. We were never bored.
No.
And we also, it was a good time to sleep in, relax, enjoy the hammock as well. And
that sounds great.
And then near the end of the 8 days, it actually did start getting warmer again as we got closer to land. So I think it was right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean where it was the coldest, but it didn't last long.
Do you know roughly like how cold it got? Like, because
I would say it was around 16 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it was the wind mostly.
It was just cloudy and windy.
But eight pool days would have been too much anyways. So it was nice to have that little break. We really got to know the ship at that point and explore like the restaurants. We weren't in a rush. We were going to brunch and taking our time there. And then
there was workout classes.
Oh yes, a lot of workout classes.
Like dodgeball, basketball, college party games. They had like flip cup and beer pong and that kind of thing. So there was lots of stuff going on around it.
So they made sure there were things to do then.
Awesome.
Yes. And you start to get pretty close with people too. That many days. So you can always find people to hang out with then.
Right. So let's keep talking. You mentioned a little bit about how there was always entertainment. Did you guys have any entertainment that stood out to you that you want to talk about?
Oh my gosh, there's so many shows that we loved. A few of them we actually went to see twice because they were so good. One that I definitely recommend would be the Untitled Dance Show Party. That was amazing. That's one of the ones that we went to see twice. It's kind of an interactive party with dancers, and the stage moves throughout. They invite you to dance and sing and all of that kind of thing. So it was really cool. Another one was called Dual Reality. And that's kind of like a circus performance. They have a bunch of different things like hula hooping, juggling,
flips in the air.
Right,
It's hard
yeah,
to explain.
jumps and
We have
stuff.
videos. We'll show you the videos. But yeah. And with those two shows, those are with crew that stay on, they're part of Virgin. They stay on the ship. But they also had a ton of guest performers, which we were surprised about. So we had, I think, 4 different comedians and 2 or 3 headliners, a magician, and they did switch them out. So we had quite a few going from Miami to Portugal. And then in Portugal, we saw them leave and then they got more performers on. So they were doing really well with keeping us entertained. And the shows were different too. There was shows that are definitely only a Virgin type of show. They were awesome, but you would not see it on any other cruise line.
Right. I feel like I've seen some of the
Yeah.
videos and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Did they have like because you mentioned there's like a moving stage, right? Did they
Yes.
have like an actual, because that seems like it's in a smaller theater. Do they have a
That-
bigger theater where they have some of the bigger shows, or how's that set up?
That is their theater.
Okay.
The capacity of the ship is 2,700, I believe, but it doesn't fill up. I don't think they usually fill it. So the theater was probably perfect size. It moves throughout, and then they can bring, it's hard to explain, but they can like bring chairs out with some sort of
Yeah. So
equipment.
it's very multi-purpose. Like
Yeah.
for dual reality, the middle was the stage and then there was bleachers on both sides. And then for the headliner shows, the bleachers were on the one side and then the stage was on the other side. So very multi-purpose. At one point it was the club and it was just filled with people dancing and then the DJ on the stage. So it was a very cool venue to be in and very cool to see a bunch of different shows there.
And we never had problems finding seats. It was
No.
perfect size. We had 1,800 on our ship.
You
so
do have to make reservations for most
yes.
of the shows though.
Yeah.
So they make sure that they have enough shows for the amount of sailors on board, but just, yeah, make sure that you make reservations.
Yeah.
And did you do that before boarding, or was that something you did like right first day?
That was one of the things that you could only get access to once you connected to their Wi-Fi.
Right, cool.
As far as like other activities besides like the entertainment and like I guess you said there was a sports court and stuff, is there rock climbing or like ice skating or any of that stuff that Royal has? Or
No, and I think that's because Virgin gears towards the adults. No kids
Sure.
are allowed on board, right? But
Okay,
something
yeah.
that they did have was like a workout facility almost on the outside of the deck. I'm
Cool.
sure we have some footage of it. I don't even know how to explain it really. It's just like you can do
It's like an
push-ups and
outdoor boot camp equipment
Yeah.
was what it was. And
So-
then they would do dance classes on it's called like the perch at the, I believe it's at the front of the ship or
or the very back of
the
the ship,
very
at
back
top.
of the ship where they would do like Zumba and workout classes. And then they also had, it's called the dock, and it's down on a lower deck and it just has beautiful views of the wake. And there they did activities like they had like stargazing back there, or they would have the DJ playing too. And it was just a good place to hang out. It was
Yeah.
it was a very relaxing kind of vibe of a ship. So
Mhm.
tons of places to lay, tons of places to take naps. We had no trouble ever finding a place to hang out.
I know you've mentioned or you've posted that all food is included, right? There's no such thing as specialty, quote unquote, specialty dining, right?
Right. So all of the restaurants are included. A few menu items at some of the restaurants were not included. So something like the seafood tower, that was not included, and that was at the wake. I think it was like $40.
Yeah, it actually did seem reasonable. So it would
Mhm.
include like oysters and lobster and stuff like that. It just depends on what you order. I think every menu had about 3
upcharged
upcharged
items.
meals that you
Yeah.
could choose from, but the menus, we never even felt like we even wanted to try any of that because the food was incredible. So my favorite restaurant was The Wake, which is a steakhouse, and it was up to par as to any other fancy steakhouse that I've been to. It was amazing.
Mhm.
You could get steak, salmon, chicken, and then sides were presented just perfect, and
Mhm.
everything was perfect for
Mhm.
a lot of the food.
Yeah, the food was amazing. There was, I think, over 20 places that you could get food. Like there was a place up at the pool deck where you could get poke bowls and chicken bowls and bao buns. And then there was the place at the dock where you could get Mediterranean tapas. And then there was the social club where you could get pretzels and wings and that kind of thing. And then obviously the galley, which we told you about. And then there was 6 restaurants that you could choose for dinner. And that was like the Wake, which is a steakhouse. Pink Agave was the Mexican. Razzle Dazzle was kind of a vegetarian restaurant, but they have a naughty menu if you want. There was Gunbei, which was Korean barbecue, and I'm missing one. What is it?
Test
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 Kitchen, and that was kind of like experimental food.
That was our one. We had one restaurant we didn't like, and that was actually that one, which we knew going into it. We had watched YouTube reviews. A lot of people were either loved it or did not like it.
But yeah, you go more for the experience.
Yes, you don't. It's a preset menu, so if you don't like something on the menu, you're leaving hungry. But then we went and found other food. It wasn't hard to do.
Yeah.
And what's the hours of dining? Was things open pretty much most of the day, or were there times when things closed? Other than the 6 dinner restaurants.
Food was open. I don't think we ever ran into when it was closed. You might be switching over from breakfast to lunch, but then they would always have bento boxes that you could just run in and grab, whether those were like sushi or fruit plates or things like that. Only 2 restaurants were open for brunch, but I think we even mentioned in one of our YouTube videos when we were there, we were eating brunch at 11 a.m., which was amazing because the amount of times I've missed brunch on other cruise lines because it closes at 9:30. So it was great to have that open really late. And then for food, pizza was open till 2 a.m. And then they actually had their 24-hour food was all day breakfast, which was a nice change.
So do they have room service?
Oh, yes.
How was that? Was that an upcharge or was anything like that?
So yeah, we only ordered it the last couple of days, and then once we figured out how amazing it was, we had ordered it every single day after that. I believe is it $5 delivery?
Yes, $5 delivery. But if you order anything of charge, so if you order a drink or a coffee, like a specialty coffee or like a kombucha, that would cover the cost.
Yeah. So they take off the delivery charge as long as you order something that charges something. So we would order a coffee or anything like that would get taken from our bar tab, and then you want to get charged for delivery. And it would be food that would be like appetizers from the dining restaurants, I guess you would call it. So it was amazing. We also got they had chocolate covered pretzels, they had gummy bears, they had cheese plates, charcuterie boards. It was great.
And could you do that whenever you want, or is there certain times?
I believe it was 24 hours. I think you had breakfast is only available certain times, but and the rest of the
breakfast you had to put it in earlier. There was like a cutoff time to when you could order breakfast. But
so you mentioned the dinner restaurants. Is there any type of main dining, or was that like the main dining, those specific restaurants?
Yeah,
those are the main dining restaurants.
We also were hearing before that you want to make your dinner reservations you can make before you boarded. So Jillian actually went ahead and made us dinner reservations for the first 6 nights, so we could try out all 6 restaurants and then see which ones we wanted to try again. And then we were worried if we were how difficult it would be to make dinner reservations for the remainder of the cruise, but we had no problems at all. So we started wanting to go with some of the friends we met, but 8 p.m. at the Wake wasn't available. So you would just check throughout the day and it would pop up. So if the time you want isn't available, it always ended up popping up. I don't know if people are canceling or if they realize they can handle more capacity, but yeah, we always got the exact time we wanted. And if not, I think one time we just walked in and they just sat us at the bar and it was perfect. So
nice.
Yeah, the app was very good. It was very useful, and it was also very handy with everybody having when internet is included in your voyage. Everybody was able to be on the app.
Yeah. And is the cruise compass or whatever they call it, is that on the app, or do they put it?
Yeah, and it's the same idea. It's laid out a little bit different, but it's the same idea where you can reserve on there or add it to your calendar, and then it's very similar.
Cool. Very nice. All right, last couple questions. Gab, do you want to start with those ones?
Yeah. All right. So this is just a random question. All right. So if you guys could choose one cruise ship to be on for the rest of your lives, which one would it be and why?
Okay, I don't know if my answer would be the same as Rachel's,
Probably.
but I would say any Oasis
Yeah.
class ship. And that's just because they offer so many different activities to do on board that you would never get bored. Like
Yeah.
there's the flow rider, the rock climbing, ice skating, all of that kind of stuff that would keep you busy.
Also there's more pools there.
Yeah.
We do love Virgin. I did like the size of Virgin. It was nice being able to go from the pool deck to your room in a reasonable amount of time. But there was only 1.5 pools. Where Royal, it's really nice to be able to kind of switch up the pools you're going to. You can switch up what activities you want to do throughout the day. We love also the promenade. We just love hanging out there at night. So we were missing that kind of aspect of a ship.
Cool.
Love it. So you both say an Oasis class ship.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
We do love the Oasis class ships. And even though they're so big, they hold so many people, so it doesn't feel as many people unless you're in the Windjammer on embarkation day. But
Right. Everyone's got their suitcase.
It's funny.
All right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Next question. What's your next cruise that you have booked, and when is it?
So our next cruise we're going back to Royal Caribbean. It's end of July, and we are going on Jewel of the Seas, which is a brand new cruise ship to us. And we're going out of Amsterdam, and it's 12 nights. So we're going to, I believe it's 5 different countries, all ports we've never been to. So it's going to be a really, really good trip. And it's going to be different than we're used to. I don't think there will be any relaxing or any naps, but we're excited to do something different.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you guys. Do you have any last tips for anybody sailing on the Valiant Lady, or for anyone doing a transatlantic cruise?
If you're going on a Virgin cruise, my recommendation is to just get to know the crew. I think we had so much fun because the Happenings cast, which is something we've never experienced on any cruise line, they were very interactive. And if we didn't know what we wanted to do that night, they would let us know. Okay, you guys need to go to the Manor for Scarlet Night, or you need to go to the dock for stargazing. It was a really different, fun experience, and they also invited us to a few secret shows, which I also highly recommend. If you get to know the Happenings crew, they will invite you to these secret shows.
That's awesome. I feel like
That's great.
I feel like it really, the more you get to know the crew or the staff, the funner the cruise is. You know what I mean? The more meaningful it is, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they've been on the ship for months. They know what you should be doing, and yeah, it was a really good time. For a transatlantic,
I would say just be prepared for any weather.
Yes.
I did my research before, so I was like, okay, I know we need some sweaters and pants, but I also know that we need our bathing suits because it's going to be hot, obviously, in the Bahamas and that kind of thing. So make sure that you pack for kind of all weather, just in case it is rainy.
And it's definitely not for everybody. If it's a couple sea days on a 7-day cruise is a lot for you, I would not recommend a transatlantic. Or if you don't like rocky waters, I also would not recommend a transatlantic. But we were okay with both. So we already have the exact same transatlantic cruise booked for next year.
Nice.
So we're excited.
Nice.
I did enough to rebook while we were on.
Incredible. Well, thank you guys so much. Y'all have really been useful to me. I'm sure to Gavin as well.
As well to me. Yeah, thank
you've
you.
sold me. So
Awesome.
We don't work for them, I swear.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we should.
Yeah, right. We appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
for having us on again.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.